Who is Martin Luther King Jr.? The voice of a dream. Martin Luther King Jr. was more than a civil rights leader. He was a moral force, a powerful orator, and a symbol of peaceful resistance in the face of injustice. This video explores his journey from preacher to activist to global icon, and how his dream reshaped the soul of a nation. MLK wasn't just a man with a message. He was a movement, a moment in history, and a voice that continues to inspire generations. This video dives into his beliefs, his battles, and the legacy he built with courage, compassion, and conviction. From Montgomery to Washington, his words moved crowds and shook systems. What gave his dream such power? How did he lead with nonviolence in the face of hate? And why does his message still matter today? Today, we explore the life, the dream, and the unshakable impact of Martin Luther King Jr., the man who dared to believe in justice for all.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Welcome to Who Media, the channel where curiosity leads the way. From famous celebs and cartoon icons to legends and hidden names, we uncover the stories behind the people you know and the ones you don't. Martin Luther King Jr., the name echoes with thunderous weight, a drumbeat for justice that still resonates through time. But how much do we really know about him beyond the "I have a dream" speech and the black and white photos of peaceful marches? Was he simply a preacher with a vision, or a revolutionary shaking the foundations of American society with every step, every word, every risk he took? How do we make sense of a man who moved mountains without lifting a single fist? Born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, Martin Luther King Jr. was raised in the heart of the segregated South. His father, Daddy King, was a fiery preacher and his mother a gifted musician. Growing up, young Martin felt the tight grip of racism early. At age 6, his white playmate told him they couldn't be friends anymore. Why? Because of the color of his skin. Can you imagine being 6 years old and told that your skin disqualifies you from friendship? But Martin didn't crumble. He studied, he read, he questioned everything. By 15, he'd skipped grades and entered Morehouse College. He could have been anything, a lawyer, a doctor, a professor. But the pulpit called, not just to preach, but to lead. Why? Because the church was the only place in the Black community where power could thrive without apology. He went on to get a PhD in systematic theology from Boston University, and while there, he met Coretta Scott, an artist and activist in her own right. They married and together became the backbone of a movement that would rattle the core of a nation. But why him? Why did he become the voice of the movement? In 1955, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus in Montgomery, Alabama. The Black community needed a leader, someone young, educated, morally grounded, and charismatic. King was all of that and more. At just 26, he led the Montgomery bus boycott, a 381-day act of defiance that paralyzed the city's transit system and ignited a fire across the South. And guess what? They won. Segregated buses were declared unconstitutional. Was it luck, timing, divine destiny? Or was it the courage to stand up while knowing that standing up could get you killed? From there, Martin Luther King Jr. never stopped. He helped found the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, organizing nonviolent protests, marches, sit-ins, and speeches. He believed in agape, unconditional love, and nonviolence, not because it was safe, but because it was powerful. But have you ever wondered, how do you choose love when you're being beaten, jailed, and threatened daily? He was arrested over 29 times. His house was bombed. He received constant death threats. But he kept marching. From Birmingham to Selma, he challenged Jim Crow with every ounce of his being. In Birmingham, children as young as 6 were hosed down and attacked by dogs while peacefully protesting. And yet, King stayed peaceful. Why? Because he knew that violence would only feed the system he was trying to destroy. In 1963, he delivered the speech, "I Have a Dream," on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial before over 250,000 people during the March on Washington. It was a defining moment, not just for civil rights, but for American identity itself. He dreamed of a world where his children would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. But here's a tough question. Have we fulfilled that dream yet? The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 were direct results of his relentless activism. He met with presidents, challenged the FBI, and was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize at just 35 years old. But what happened next? Martin began shifting gears. He wasn't content with just desegregation. He started speaking out against poverty, capitalism, and most controversially, the Vietnam War. In 1967, he declared that America was the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today. That quote turned friends into enemies. The press soured. Donors pulled away. Even other civil rights leaders distanced themselves. Why? Because he was no longer just fighting for civil rights. He was challenging the entire system. He launched the Poor People's Campaign to unite people of all races against economic inequality. He believed racism, poverty, and war were interconnected evils. He saw injustice not just in the South, but in Chicago, in Appalachia, in America's war machine. And when you threaten that kind of power, how long before they try to silence you? On April 4th, 1968, while standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, where he had come to support striking station workers, Dr. King was assassinated. A single bullet took his life, but not his voice. The nation erupted. Riots broke out in over 100 cities. The world mourned. But the question remains, who really pulled the trigger? Was it James Earl Ray, the man convicted of the murder? Or was it something deeper, darker, a system that feared what King represented? His death didn't stop the movement, it transformed it. But it also left a void. Who could fill his shoes? Could anyone ever replicate his blend of moral authority, intellectual brilliance, and spiritual conviction? Today, we honor him with a national holiday. We name streets and schools after him. We quote him endlessly. But how many people actually listen to what he truly said? All of it, not just the dream. He warned about the white moderate more devoted to order than justice. He spoke about the dangers of silence. He called out economic exploitation. Are we ready to face those parts of his message too? Martin Luther King Jr. wasn't just a preacher. He was a radical visionary with the audacity to believe that love could beat hate, that peace could defeat violence, that a broken nation could still find its soul. His legacy isn't finished. It's a mirror, a challenge, a question to each of us. What are you doing with your voice? Are you marching, speaking up, sitting down when you should stand? Are you dreaming, or are you awake? Because MLK didn't just have a dream. He lived it. He bled for it. And he died trying to bring it to life. So now the question isn't, who was Martin Luther King Jr.? The real question is, who are we because of him?
Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Thanks for watching Who Media. We hope you had fun learning something new today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a story. Want to see more cool videos? Head over to our channel and start exploring.